Throughout history, fashion has proven to serve two main distinctive roles, one of reproducing prevalent ideologies or forms of social order, and at the same time, one of challenging and rejecting what is established, proposing change. The corset, for example, is a garment of unparalleled duality in fashion and feminist history. Commonly colluded with the connotation of restricted, vain, and oppressive, the garment's history proves this is anything but the actual truth. I have personally just over 3 years of experience wearing corsets for my chronic and severe back pain from contortion I did several years ago. My current corset is an underbust and is mesh for everyday comfort. My goal is to unveil the myths surrounding a topic that has been subject to countless misconceptions and unjust vilification throughout history. The topic at hand is corsets, which have been unfairly portrayed as instruments of oppression and objects of ridicule, when in reality, corsets are much more than what meets the eye. They possess a rich history and cultural significance that deserves a fair and truly unbiased examination. I aim to challenge the harmful disinformation and misrepresentation of corsets in society to ultimately prove to you that corsets are a symbol of liberation and not restriction. My first focus lies in false ideas and false restrictions. Corsets of all kinds are seen as serving an aesthetic and little else by the vast majority of the population. This is understandable. Not only do many supposedly professional information pieces online cite fictitious and unproven sources, as well as miscite real sources, with the vast majority of the information available is based on information that was quite literally made up in the 19th century, the 1800s. This was a time in history when doctors didn't even know how women's bodies functioned. They thought bikes were dangerous to only women because it made them flushed in the cheeks, and they even fed their children heroin. We don't believe any other of these ridiculous medical advices from the 1800s. So why do we still cling onto the practically fairy tale books of corsets? My second focus is medical and health specific myths. Another false idea surrounding corsets is that they are inherently uncomfortable and pose significant health risks. While it is true that poorly fitting or overly tight, often due to the act of prolonged tight lacing, corsets can cause discomfort and temporarily shift organs. Properly fitted corsets will be both supportive and comfortable. Corsets were historically made with the intention of providing back support and improving posture, and when implemented correctly, they offer these benefits without causing any harm to the wearer. Tales of fainting due to restricted ribs via corset can be entirely attributed to the rampant tuberculosis at the time, causing fainting, wheezing, and shortness of breath. Corsets don't even cinch the underbust and the ribs. The cinch point is at the soft fatty tissue in the waist, where there is neither bone nor rib. Corsets additionally support the bust's weight and alleviate pain caused by layers of heavy garments that were worn all day, often double digits of skirts and crinoline. Tales of prolapsed uterus due to compression were actually due to the high number of childbirths per mother. Far from being restrictive tools of oppression, they've served as symbols of empowerment and good health. Throughout history, corsets have been cherished for their ability to enhance posture, distribute garment weight, and provide the necessary support for curvier figures. It is crucial to recognize the historical context in which corsets emerged, as their purpose was additionally colluded by the fashion and societal norms in a male-invented standard in each of these eras. Between 1510 and 1590, a French army surgeon who became famous for reforming and modernizing the practice of surgery described his metal corsets in his work, stating they were used to amend the crookedness of the body. providing before any societal ideals are imposed, the true origin of corsets is rooted in the improvement of health and women's physical abilities. It was a transformation from the corset as a garment of the aristocracy, worn by both men and women, to a garment which is its 19th century heyday was almost worn exclusively by women, but women of all social classes and 66 ages, citing from a Yale Journal of Law and Feminism. My next focus is the origins and their interactions with feminism. Corsets have been worn by women for centuries, as well as men, of course, but less frequently, spanning various civilizations and eras. Far from being restrictive tools of oppression, they have served as symbols of empowerment and health. Throughout history, corsets have been cherished for their ability to enhance posture and provide necessary support. It is crucial to recognize the historical context in which corsets were invented, as their purpose was deeply intertwined with fashion, yet wasn't originally intended for those uses. Finally, corsets are depicted, often in popular culture, as symbols of male dominance and objectification of women. This perception painted corset-wearing women as passive victims were forced to conform to male desires, and further implied that women are prone to hurting themselves out of pure vanity without male intervention and their gallant saving. The fatal flaw to this argument, however, is to recognize that women have historically played an active role in both the creation and adoption of corsets as fashion items. Many women found empowerment and self-expression through corsets, using them as means to help their bodies perform all that demanded of them, as well as enable physical movement due to the heavy nature of the garments they wore, which restricted them from many daily activities. The harmful misrepresentation of corsets in society has perpetuated myths and misconceptions about their true nature and purpose, potentially even hindering those who could benefit from the use of such items from learning of this potential solution, such as myself for many years. By understanding the historical context, dispelling myths, and recognizing the original purpose and overall empowerment that corsets provide, we can challenge the unfair vilification they have endured in the media. Let us strive for a society that embraces the differences of people's bodies and needs, appreciates cultural history, and empowers those who've been scorned. It is time to cast aside prejudice and reclaim the beauty and significance of corsets in all of their forms. Thank you.